Welcome back to Broken Electronics. It's wonderful for you to spend some time here today. We're continuing today with the seemingly never-ending saga of my Revision A Power Mac G3 Blue and White, which I picked up just before Christmas for $30. And you had to question spending that much on it, the condition that it was in. But we've been resurrecting it. We've done some physical repair work to it. We've done some component upgrades to it. We are now attempting to install operating systems. Now, we've been at this a bit. You may have seen a video where I took the SSD, connected it to my Power Mac G4 Sawtooth, the world's most powerful sawtooth, you may remember, and installed Tiger, since you need a DVD drive to install Tiger. I actually used my Firewire installer. The Blue and White does not have a DVD drive, just CD, and it won't boot from Firewire, so I can't use the Firewire installer. That all went swimmingly. I was very pleased with that until I plugged the drive back into the Blue and White and it wouldn't boot. So I tried to install, in the last video I did, I tried to install OS 9 and Cheetah. Those wouldn't boot. Now the funny thing is, when I took the drive back out and plugged it in via Firewire to the Sawtooth again, OS 9 and Tiger booted up with no problem. Well, anyway, I still think the issue with that was a failing hard drive, a failing SSD. Since the SSD I had was an older SSD, it's been lying around some time. I think I took it out of a Mac Mini at some point. It was running High Sierra. So I tried using that. Well, we'll try using this. This is another 128 gigabyte SSD. And we're going to see if perhaps this will work out. Now, some of it you may have seen before. I will plug this into the Sawtooth, get it formatted, get it partitioned. Then, rather than install Tiger directly, I'm just going to take it back to the Blue and White. We will try to install Mac OS 9. We'll try to install Cheetah. And if those come out bootable, then we'll go back to the Sawtooth and try to get Tiger on it. And wrap it up by seeing if Tiger will boot on it. Well, anyway, again, that's the plan. But you've seen how plans tend to not always turn out. So, if you want to see what does happen with it, please stay tuned. Well, to sum up, I was completely unable to get the Blue and White to boot up with the SSD that was there. Yet, the Sawtooth will boot up from it. I don't really know, but I mean, I tried messing around with the adapters, changing the jumper settings. It's back to master, which is what it has to be now. All the partitions are showing up. So what I'm going to try doing is installing OS 9 clean on the OS 9 partition and see if it boots that up. Then we'll worry about getting Cheetah and Tiger installed. So, macOS install. And just picked my destination disk already. Well, it's got to be a clean installation, don't we? All right, now, what I'm going to be curious about, will this start throwing the errors that we were seeing when I installed OS 9 the other disk? Although I will point out, I didn't put it on camera. I plugged the drive into the Sawtooth and I was able to boot OS 9. Well, anyhow, we'll let this play out a bit, so please stay tuned. Hope we've hit the dreaded less than a minute. So far, it's been completely clean, which gives me hope, certainly, that the problem was, in fact, with the SSD itself. but we'll find out soon. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Apple in there less than a minute. It has finished. All right. Let's restart this guy. Okay, we'll bring you back when we're at the desktop. Stay tuned. Hallelujah, it's working. I pulled the CD out of the drive just to make sure it would not boot up onto the CD again, and this is booting finally to the macOS 9.2.2 desktop, which it does very slowly. Okay. Looking positive. Slow but positive, but then again, it is a 21, close to 22, just about 22-year-old computer now, so. It's frozen. It's frozen. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, just needed to restart to kick it into gear. Okay, we see all three of our partitions showing up. Your standard icons in there. Now, the setup assistant. So, tell you what, I am going to go through the setup assistant. You can't just skip out of it, but I'm going to do it. And once that's been accomplished, we should be on to installing Cheetah. Okay, so yeah, clear the upshot. I was pretty sure that the problem I was having was related to funniness with the SSD. I got thrown when I popped it into the sawtooth and it booted up. But anyhow, we're on the right track. So I'll take care of this and we'll be back with you, so please stay tuned. All right. I didn't really do substantial customizing. I did go through the setup wizard. Interesting thing, I've discovered that when you set up a password on OS 9, it shows up in the clear. I was not expecting that. But anyhow, that's all done. I did change to the macOS 9 default, which I've always liked. What's not to like? It's pretty much purple. All right, so we won't do any further customizing right now. We're going to forge on ahead. Open the CD drive. Let that spin up. Interesting, it's not, the drive is not making that crazy whirring sound that it was. Maybe it was just the fact that it hasn't been actually used in a long time, but now it seems perfectly normal. That's a good sign. Okay. So this is the Cheetah install disk. Here we go. And this should restart us into the installer. Eventually. I don't know, this tends to be slow. So, I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting to look at. Stay tuned. Well, it's a very good thing that I am a most patient man, because booting into this installer took forever. It beach balled, and I went off a while, did other things. It was, excuse me, complete guess, 5 minutes to get us to the point where it started to boot up. Oh, this is frustrating. At least it hasn't frozen. Okay. This may be part of the reason why this OS was such an abject failure. Okay. And the license agreement. This in and of itself could go on forever. Yeah, not too bad. All right, now we're going to install on the Cheetah drive. Get rid of the print drivers. And here we go. And I'm hoping it won't take that long to install, but I'm certainly not going to make you sit through the entire thing. So stay tuned. Oh goody, there were errors installing the software, could not write file. Please try installing again. I will do that. And basically, of course, you've seen the process now. I don't know why all this is happening to me, but we'll go at it again, and hopefully you'll be back when something positive happens. So please stay tuned. Well, we are back here again. If nothing else, I can attest that it has gone much, much more smoothly this time. Not nearly as much beach balling. I don't know, it just wasn't completely booted up, but I'm hopeful it will work out this time. It's already going quite a bit faster. It moved on to preparing essential system software much, much more quickly. So anyhow, stay tuned. Well, I glanced at it there. It's been working for a while. It said 1 hour, 9 minutes, but that was maybe a minute ago, and it's now down to 50 minutes. So, it seems to be going. Let's hope. Stay tuned. Well, this is further than we got the last time. We're down to 15 minutes. It's a long installation. Now, part of that, this is the original CD drive that came with it. So it's a 22-year-old CD-ROM in a 22-year-old computer, installing a 21-year-old operating system. Actually, it's a 20-year-old operating system. I think Cheetah came out in 2001. Well, okay. You'll see what happens if you stay tuned. Well, this is getting frustrating. So, what I'm going to try doing is different disk. I'd been using one that I burned since it seemed to be working better. Let's go back to the full retail. All right, stay tuned. Okay, we're back on the OS 9 desktop. I put the retail Cheetah disc in. The wonderful sound on the CD drive is back. Let's see what happens if we start up this install now. Now, the last time I did this on the disk I burned, I clicked that restart button and it just sat there. I eventually had to hit the reset button on the G3 and hold down the C key. That may be very well what has to... Nope, looks like we're actually going to restart. Hope springs eternal. I'm always looking for positive signs. Maybe this is it. So please stay tuned. Well, we're on our way here. I look for the strangest signs for positivity. The fact that the darn drive is making more noise than it was. Who knows? Maybe that is positive. In any event, I'll let you know what happens. Please stay tuned. I think we're going to get there. We have not gotten this far before. I think it's actually going to do it. Yeah, we're home free. Yeah, I forgot to deselect the additional print drivers. Not that that matters a whole lot. I doubt that's why it's now installing. I think it's more having switched disks, or there seems to be something with this machine about just trying things over and over again. I know that's the definition of insanity, you know, trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, but we do appear to be getting a different result. Hooray. Less than a minute. Come on, you can do it. Cleaning up. I think we're going to be there. Come on, let's go. You can do this. I just want to get to the point where it starts to boot up. Then they'll take pity on you. I do have to say, is there anyone else in the world who would work this hard and spend this much time trying to install a piece of software that in today's world is essentially useless? Worse than that, back when it was first released, it was considered essentially useless. Is there anybody else but me who would do that? I have no idea. But the thing is, it is of historic interest, and I am, in my heart, an historian. I've been an actual historian, music historian, and yeah, a computer historian. Okay, I am going to take pity on you. Hopefully we'll be back when something more interesting happens. Stay tuned. Well, it's been stuck here forever. Installation will pause when the current task is completed. Okay, it isn't going to complete. So I'm just going to hit the reset button, see if we get back into OS 9, and then go from there. So stay tuned. All right. It is getting late. I think what I'm going to do now is basically postpone the battle with Cheetah. I mean, we seem, if nothing else, to be making progress. Maybe it'll get better. But what I'm going to do now, we have a functional OS 9. At least there is an operating system on the machine. That's something. I'm going to take the SSD out. I'll turn it off first, of course, and connect it to the Sawtooth. Got a great little piece of equipment here. It's a FireWire 800 SATA converter. So all you have to do is, I don't have to fuss with enclosures and putting it in and out. Just plug the drive into the SATA connection, plug that into the FireWire 800 port, which fortunately I have on the world's most powerful Sawtooth, and should then be able to install Tiger. Then we'll see if that boots. It should, or maybe it'll just destroy everything and I'll have to start all over. You can only, now, honestly, I did a whole video about installing Tiger in this manner. I'm just going to do exactly the same thing again, so you can go back to that video if you want to see what happens. Now, if you want to find out if it actually works, stay tuned. All right, let's see. I did install Tiger on the drive. That's still showing up there. I do have to say, just for a second, to compliment myself, if nothing else, the world's most powerful Sawtooth is an absolute monster. Between that and the FireWire installer, it took me less than 5 minutes to install Tiger. And just everything is so smooth. Is it the world's most powerful? I really don't know, but it's got to be darn close. Anyway, let's look in control panels on the startup disk. Well, it says it's available. Let's give it a go. There's something. Come on, my child. All right. Come on. This is looking good. Almost there. And yes, we have Tiger. .400 megahertz PowerPC G3. It's there. Now, I did some beginnings of customization just to make it easier to do the real customization. I put it on the PPC App Store. The 10.4 Fox G3 FPR 30, current release. I put on 10.4 Bird, but I neglected to save that to the dock. I'll take care of that. All right then. Now, the machine is perfectly functional exactly as it is. I don't need to have Cheetah on here, but darn, I want to. So I'm going to keep giving that a try. But anyhow, we're 2/3 of a success. So let's open the drive. Put the Cheetah disk back in. I mean, if I can't get it to work, I have other plans. For example, putting another CD drive in. I could conceivably put in the DVD drive from a gigabit Ethernet, at least temporarily. All right, now, we can't actually start from that since we're booted into Tiger. Thank God we're booted into Tiger. So let's restart and hold down, oops, and hold down the C key. Okay. Now you've been seeing a lot of this, and this CD takes forever to boot up, so please stay tuned. I'll be darned. So here's the macOS 10.0 welcome video. I think we finally got there. Okay. Command Q. Skip over that. Okay. Clearly at this point we have 10.0 installed. After, Lord knows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is about the 6th try. So I will set this up and then we'll come back to the desktop. I'm glad you've hung with me this far, and if you want to continue, please stay tuned. So here is the macOS 10.0 Cheetah desktop. We got this done. I'll be darned. Let's eject the CD here. And it's out. And I think we've got 3 OSs installed. How about that? Look in system preferences. Load startup disk. Okay, it seems to be set to Cheetah, which I don't really want it to be, but okay. Now, since I ejected the disk, obviously we are booted up to the Cheetah desktop, so it finally actually installed. I'm not going to do a tour other than to look at about this Mac. I didn't even show the clock rate in the processor, PowerPC G3. But we're here. All right, so mission finally accomplished, and I'm very glad we did. Okay, so I need to go about all 3 of these operating systems and set them up and get them to their optimum possibilities, which with Cheetah is not that great. But I will go about doing that, and I think we'll have a separate video that will show off what this old machine can actually do. So I hope you'll want to check that one out. But I think we can wrap up this video. Be good to other people. Be good to yourself. We're going to make this a better world. But since we're not there yet, take very good and careful care in these difficult times. We'll have one more video at least on this machine, and an awful lot more. So until those things come up, this has been Broken Electronics.